Ah, the food cart dream. It's a really powerful one, right? This idea of having your own simple business just built on a killer recipe and a real passion for food. But you have to wonder, is that romantic vision the whole story? Well, let's dig in and take a closer look. This quote from an industry consultant, it just hits the nail on the head. It totally gets that dream, but it also kind of hints that there's way more going on behind the counter, a reality that, let's be honest, isn't always so sunny.
And boom, here is that complex reality staring us right in the face. It all comes down to one single, pretty sobering number: 60%. So, what in the world is going wrong here? You might be surprised to hear it's almost never the food. Nope, it's a failure to plan for the harsh realities of the business.
Okay, so that brings us to our first major reality check, the hidden costs. See, most people who want to get started, they focus their entire budget on just buying the cart. And that right there is a really dangerous and super common mistake. And what I love about this is how it completely reframes the whole financial picture for you. Think about it. The cart, yeah, it's a big one-time purchase. We get that. But it's the operations, those relentless daily, monthly expenses that just never stop, that's what actually sinks most of these businesses. Let's break down a couple of the really big ones. All right, first up, the commissary kitchen. And this is mandatory. I mean, you can't just prep food in your garage at home, right? Health codes in pretty much every city require you to work out of a licensed commercial kitchen. As you can see, you need it for everything: prep, cleaning, waste disposal, and this isn't optional. It's a non-negotiable requirement that comes with a pretty hefty price tag, usually somewhere between $2,400 and over $7,000 a year. Wow. And this right here, this is a perfect example of how teeny tiny costs can just explode. Okay, let's talk permits. You find a fantastic spot, and the daily vending permit is, say, a modest $50. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? But do the math. Multiply that by 250 days a year, that's a pretty standard operating year. And all of a sudden, you're looking at $12,500 every single year. And that's just for the right to park your cart and sell. Okay, so managing your costs is absolutely crucial. But believe it or not, that's only half the battle. Regulations. Oh man, that is a whole other beast. A lot of people look at a food cart and they just see a grill on wheels. Simple, right? Well, the health department, they see something totally different. They see a finely regulated piece of machinery. And they have very specific rules. Take this one, for example, the 15% wastewater overage rule. What this means is that your wastewater tank, your gray water tank, has to be at least 15% bigger than your freshwater tank. It's all about public health, preventing overflows, preventing contamination, and it is the perfect example of a tiny technical detail that can get you shut down on the spot if you don't know about it. So this all leads to a question that, a lot of people ask to try and save some money. Hey, is it a good idea to just buy a used cart? And look, on the surface, it seems totally logical, but our source material is really clear on this one. It's a massive financial gamble. And let me tell you why. So a cart that's only 4 years old could already be totally out of line with the current health codes. They change that fast. You could be looking at inspection fees up to $1,200 before you even sell a single taco. And then you'll probably have to pay for a bunch of mandatory upgrades like installing a pressurized sink system. All that stuff can completely wipe out any money you thought you saved buying used. All right, so let's say you've navigated the costs, you've figured out the regulations. Now for the fun part. Where do you set up? The busiest street corner, right? I mean, obviously. Well, maybe not. Let's talk about a much smarter profit strategy. See, those super busy corners, they often become a trap. And it's because of this economic idea called the principle of minimum differentiation. Basically, if you and another taco cart are in the exact same spot, how do you compete? The only real way is on price, and that just starts a race to the bottom, a price war that absolutely tanks your profit margins. So what's the alternative? Well, think strategic partnerships. Just look at this number. This is what you could pull in from just one weekend night by partnering up with a local brewery, one that doesn't serve its own food. It's a win-win. They get a great food option for their customers, and you get a captive, hungry audience. And it gets even better. No, really, check this out. This is what you could make from just one 3-hour corporate catering gig. I mean, that could be more than you'd make in 3, maybe even 4 full days of street vending. The smartest, most profitable businesses are the ones actively hunting for these kinds of diverse revenue streams.
Okay, this brings us to our final point. And honestly, this might be the most critical one of all. It's about a decision that has absolutely nothing to do with what's on your menu, but it has everything to do with protecting you and your family.
So when you start out, you've got to make a choice. You can operate as a sole proprietorship. That's kind of the default setting. It's easy. But there is a massive flaw. There is zero legal separation between you and the business. And that means your personal assets, we're talking your house, your car, your life savings, they are all on the line if the business ever gets sued. The only smart choice, the only sound choice, is forming a limited liability company, or an LLC.
Seriously, let's just let that sink in for a second. The source material could not be more clear on this. Forming an LLC creates a legal shield, a firewall between your business stats and your personal life. And in a high-risk industry like food service, this isn't just a good idea, it's the absolute foundation of building a professional, defensible business.
So, let's wrap this up. Success? It's not just about having the best tacos in town. It's built on these 4 cornerstones. Number 1, you gotta master your real operational costs. Number 2, you have to obey all those nitpicky technical regulations. 3, you need to diversify your income, get beyond that one busy corner. And number 4, and this is the big one, protect your personal assets with the right legal structure.
And all of this brings us to the final, really crucial question from our source material. It's really a challenge, right? It's about shifting your mindset from just being a cook to being a real business owner. The dream is awesome. It's what gets you started. But a resilient business plan, that's what makes the dream last. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.